Howdy folks, this will be a Saturday morning shave for me. The soap of the day is going to be RazoRock P.160. The scent is very much similar to Cella, which is almond. Mine came with that lid also. I know from time to time manufacturers, when they make the soap in their containers, they switch them up, and anyway, I've had this one a little while. I've scooped quite a bit out of there. It's a pretty soft soap. You can push your finger in it. Excuse me. This was, the best to my memory, this was the very first RazoRock soap that I ever bought, was a P.160. And if I remember right, I think it was Anthony Esposito that kind of clued me in on this one. Let's see here, the aftershave I'm going with today. I'm going to follow this up with British Sterling. And got my witch hazel, Humphreys, alum block, Phoenix Artisan accoutrements. Got the lather whipped up here. Now it's fully loaded. Don't think I can squeeze any more in there. And this is a RazoRock brush. It's referred to as BC, as in black and clear. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. So I kind of like this because it could double as a magnifying glass. It's pretty cool like that. Oh, smooth bottom bowl. That's what it looks like on the inside. Got this at a thrift store, and I can't tell you much more about the name has rubbed off on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but I can tell you that looks like it was made in Germany. I think I have a fair idea, but I'm not 100% sure of the maker. Thrift store is a good place to find stuff. And speaking of thrift store, that's where I found this cup, and it's warm water, and I usually warm up my blade and my brush in there. And the shaver of the day is a Gem MicroMatic with a Treet blade. First time use. This one here is an open comb version. And I got this on the cheap. Got this one along with two other razors, I think all three for $17.50. And you can see this is in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got some scratches on the front, but it's still in pretty good shape. And the twist to open. And if you haven't seen one of my videos before, I usually warm these up in some hot water, boiling water if you will, and clean up all the stuff that might come floating out of it. And one of the things I do afterwards is, especially right about here, believe it or not, I use, this is not the only beard oil I have, but that's what I drop down in there for you. If it's good for your face and your beard, then it can't be too bad for your razor. So, and it works well, lubricates right on up. I've already put a hot towel to the face, and bloom water, you might be able to see it. Yeah, probably did. I worked it into the beard pretty good this morning. And get started lathering this up here. This week I have got some hardware that I'm wanting to try out. One of them, and it's been around for a moment, so yes, I'm late to the game, but that's nothing unusual for me. Sometimes when things come out new, doesn't always grab me right out of the gate, and also sometimes I just plan on waiting a while, and one day when the price gets down around where I think it's acceptable, then I might buy a used one. Buy, sell, trade, eBay, Etsy, wherever your favorite place is at. Fellow wet shaver, in other words. And I have some items, two in particular, that I'm going to be trying out this coming week. One of them is the I'm going to be trying out, and I really do like this box. Fine slant. I believe they're coming out with another one with a different material if it works out for them. As it goes for packaging, in my opinion, even though yes, this is a cardboard box, but it's a well-built box, and it's got, to me, all kinds of cool stuff on the package. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Got this one coming up, as well as Donald from Wet the Face decided to give it a try. And I don't have the Mercury version of this Future. And matter of fact, packaging, this packaging is pretty good. If you watch Donald's video, it's just like that. Got it on eBay from these folks. They were kind enough to send me some Dorco blades, along with this one here comes with some blades with it. But I'm going to be giving it a try to see how it works out. I've been apprehensive of never buying the Mercury version because the fact that oh, and by the way, I picked up the Q shave for about $17. And the service from these folks I even got an email saying that, you know, post office closed, we'll get it in, you know, tell me what's going to get in the mail and everything. That was pretty nice. One of the reasons why I hadn't tried that Future is you look at the head on that thing, it's pretty good size. Some will say that they don't get a very good shave, or that they don't like the shave that they get with one of these Gem MicroMatics, but this shaver Treet paired up with a Treet blade works pretty well for me. With the MicroMatics, there's this one here, and sometimes you'll see it in a chrome version, and sometimes you may see it in a gold or brass looking version. Then there's the flying wing or the bullet tip, and the same thing comes in a gold or a chrome version, silver if you will. And then there's the clog proof. I have found that I'm not 100% in the chronological order in my memory. I think this one was first, the open comb, then the clog proof, then the flying wing or the bullet tip one. But for me, I've noticed that a number of the clog proof ones, either they must have been more popular, or it always seems like the wear and tear on the head's always quite a bit more than the rest of the razors. So I'm kind of wondering if those seen a lot more action over the years than some of the other versions. I have a clog proof, and yes, it that lather just works its way right on through there. So I have a clog proof, this one here, and also the flying wing. I like all three of them. And to me, it's amazing considering how old these razors are, and they work just fine. I mean, mechanically, yeah, they're great. As well as, for me, the shave that I get with them. Now, I don't remember exactly which one it was. Some of these resellers, in other words, the folks that sell these razors to you, if it come, in other words, they find it in a estate sale, and if it has the old blade with it, they will leave the old blade in there. And some people might like it. I know it's a little, for me, I get a little concerned about it, about the old blade being in it, but I guess you might say I was very appreciative that they left the old blade in one of them that I got, because, and this may be hard to see, I'll try to show it to you. This is a, as you see, it's blue, but it may, like I say, it may be really hard to see. It is a PAL, and I don't know, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but it says it's a hollow ground. And if you could, I don't know if you can see that, the way that's beveled right there. It is different than most of your modern single edge blades. I like to, one of these days I may have to start pursuing, see if I can find new old stock of that one, just to see how it shaves. That'd be interesting. And my bathroom is a lot like David Gonzalez's bathroom. Excuse me, especially in the summer, in that it gets pretty warm in here. But I'm kind of anxious to try these, excuse me, 2 new shavers. New to me, that is. Well, one of them's brand new, one of them's used. Smooth. Seems like I always get a good shave with one of these razors. I've tried different blades in here. So I've tried see a PAL blue carbon, and then of course you know the various gems. Some of them you can see on Amazon and whatnot. In other words, easy to find. The PAL blue carbon ones I've been using here recently, got from, I believe how you pronounce it, Ted Pella, and got 100 of those. I usually get my assortment of single edge blades through Trial Blade. It's a pretty good place to get an assortment of blades, try them out, including your Feather Artist Club. Every once in a while, it reoccurs. Right through here, it's been like this for as long as I can remember. Every once in a while, right there it gets irritated, and I can't tell you why. Don't know. And it's not like I really shave a whole lot right through there. In other words, trying to pick up little leftovers and whatnot. I normally don't do that through there, so I don't think it's that. It's just I think I have a spot with my skin there that's hard to get along with. As it goes for the Treet blades, I know the double edged blades, if you look on the packaging, it's Pakistan, but these single edge that may be now been around for a little while, in other words, even though they may have been made in like 2009, they're not that old, but on the packaging it says American Safety Razor, which American Safety Razor, you know, the persona. But I think later on, I think the packaging changed where it mentions, I think that it mentions that it's made in Pakistan, but I'd have to double check and make sure. Sometimes following these blade makers is a bit of a chore, because I know American Safety Razor, they were bought out by another company, and they have a name that's not easy for me to remember. I don't think it's just, in other words, it was a number of investors pulling their money together that bought the company, if I remember right. Got an email quite some time ago about the name change and whatnot. I have to say, early on, This was a very good buy for me in the way of soap. This is a pretty good soap. As long as you like the almond scent, which I don't have a problem with, but maybe that scent may not be for you, but performance-wise, this is pretty good. Especially for the price. I guess at one point in time there was an aftershave available. It seems like when I'm perusing the website, I don't see the aftershave. And then it seems like most of the time, not always, the aftershave balm is always sold out. So after a while I kind of sort of give up on trying to find the matching aftershave balm or aftershave. One of these days I'll get lucky. A lot of feedback today with this razor. I usually do, but this one here seemed to be a little bit singing a bit more than what I remember. Right there is a pretty tough spot. The hair is not only thick, but it's also the density right there. There's quite a bit right there. That is the advantage of having some facial hair. The trouble spots, for most folks, don't have to worry about it. Somebody referred to it as cheating, which I understand. As I remember those days gone by when I had to shave when I was in the Army. Boy, howdy. It can be quite painful, especially when you're trying to stretch those cartridges. Not very good shaves. It's what makes this one, shaving with these razors, whether it's a double edge, single edge, the blades are, not only that are they, to me they're superior, but they also, they're not near as expensive. There's really not much of a need to stretch them if you don't have the absolute need to. Because you're only talking, you know, anywhere from, what, 13 cents a blade. Then you start dividing up how many shaves you get out of them. It's like, what is it, $12, $13 for Feather Artist Club Supers, for instance. You get 20 of them in a pack. I get a good solid 5. I can stretch it further. I think it works out to being about 13 cents. 13 cents, it's a whole lot cheaper than a cartridge. So in other words, once you hit that quote-unquote magic number, in other words, every time you use that blade, you get that smooth shave. I retire the blade. At least that's how it works for me. To me, I think it works better that way. I'm looking for a very smooth, comfortable shave. Alum block with the rubber band. And this alum block is getting smaller. Unless I end up piffing, I have another alum block complete with rubber band. Already backed up and ready to go. Especially considering every once in a while, you know how you get, sometimes it seems like you're just all thumbs that day. Drop something, goes in a bazillion pieces. If you're not used to following me or watching my videos, what I do with my alum block is I dry it off on the dry towel, stick it right back in the container. So far that's worked well for me. Haven't had any issues. We'll find out as it gets teeny tiny how well that works. Humphrey's Witch Hazel, which is, I keep on saying it's getting lower. I do like the Witch Hazel. To me it helps with the calming of the face. As it goes for the alum block, I've got stinging in the usual place right there. Not sure what's going on right there. It's not every day, but it seems about like every other day. It has a tendency to sting right there. Rest of the face worked out well, including that one down there. Even though it does turn a little bit more red than normal, I guess you might say. Along my neckline, it seems to be, just turns red. It doesn't matter whether I shaved or did shave. And it's not that my blood pressure's up or anything like that. And I don't, you probably can't see it, but I've got my Green Country Razor shirt on. That's a company not too far from where I'm at, Okmulgee. Fine, outstanding place to get your stuff. They've always been pretty nice to me. And if you're wondering, you notice that container, the green glass, and the aftershave comes out in that color too. I would show it to you, but it'd pour out everywhere, so. British sterling, English leather. Some of the, in other words, you can go into usually Walmart and find these pretty nice aftershaves in my opinion. It is nice to be able to go into a store, walk into it, put your hands on something. You know, I don't mind ordering online, I enjoy it. It beats going to the store and hunting for it. Get there, they don't have it, they're out. Or they quit carrying it, or whatever the case might be. Around here, there's not a whole lot of shaving stuff to be had. But, matter of fact, I just cracked the top on this one. But at any rate, I really like this stuff. It's pretty nice. I like the scent to it. And it seems like most of the time when I use the P.160, and I'm either pairing up with British sterling, seems to be what I like to use with it. Go back to showing you the razor today. Gem MicroMatic. It's a twist to open. And the blade today was a Treet blade. And this Treet blade, and I couldn't tell you, you notice it's changed. In the beginning, it was nice and shiny. Silver looking. Now it's changed colors, and I couldn't tell you why it does that for me. But on this particular Treet blade, it's got the 009, and I think that has more to do with the thickness. RD, couldn't tell you what that means. Haven't been able to figure that part out. Everybody be careful, it's warm out there. Drink plenty of fluids. Stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.